Hello friends, Vanakkam, Namaskar, Abhar. This is Ram Gopal Verma, Chartered Accountant. By qualification, I am an insurance surveyor for last 35 years. I want to discuss with all the people, those who are from insurance company and surveyors, brokers, insured, for the benefit of everybody, treatment of GST in case of a fire claim. And to start with, I want to introduce this book. This is the first book in the country on fire insurance claims, practical side on stocks mostly. And I've given one full chapter on GST in this book. But as a professional, when we deal in the insurance claims as a surveyor, we come back with different type of problems, different type of cases as we go ahead with our insurance survey life. So whatever things I'm getting complicated and all that I want to share with everybody so that all the people can learn from it. So first of all, regarding GST, GST normally we deposit the businessman, he sells the goods, deposit GST, and he purchases the goods, he take ITC. That is the normal. That every charter accountant, auditor, and all that they can deal. There's no problem. But things become critical when a fire takes place in the premises of the insured, either in the factory or in the godown, on the shop or someplace, and they are already registered under GST. What to do in such cases? So some clear, complicated cases I try to discuss with the people so that one can focus on, okay, this is the problem, we must take care. Now, the first case I take up that, for example, there is a factory and they have taken insurance policy. The sum assured is, for example, 900, and loss has taken place in that factory, and the value at risk is, say, for example, 700. So there is no under insurance applicable because the policy sum assured of 900 is adequate to cover the value at risk. There is no problem. If the fire take place, say for example 60 is the loss take place, and they lodge a claim with the insurance company. So later on or immediately they may surrender GST, which comes to around 10.8 at the rate of 18% and all that. So fine, when they surrender the GST, so the assessment goes higher from 60 to it becomes 70.8 because GST also has to be indemnified, and that is the right of the insured, and insurance company should also pay to them. Broker should also take a proper policy along with GST coverage so that under insurance is not applicable. In such a case, when there is no under insurance applicable and the loss is taking place, so for example 10.8 they deposit with the department, they surrender, they reverse it under GST 3B. So in that case, whole of the amount of 10.8 will be paid to the insured, indemnified by the insurance company. There's no doubt, no problem at all. So this is a case where under insurance is not applicable. Adequate coverage has been taken, so it is a win-win for everybody. The insured is happy, the insurance company is happy to pay, insured is happy to receive the amount. Whatever you surrender to the government, whatever ITC was applicable on that stock, that he will get it from the insurance company, and the surveyor should make a recommendation that yes, there is no under insurance applicable, so he should be refunded that amount. Okay, fine. This is the one case. These are the days of Bharat Sookshma policy, Laghu policy that has been devised by IRDA. So this policy, I will tell you a little bit that this policy is very good. Premium is very low. A lot of new coverages are there, and which are normally not available. For example, heritage trust that is covered under this policy, and the premium is very low. So this policy one should take, in my opinion, also. Now you come where yes, a little bit of under insurance is applicable. For example, some insurance is 900, okay, and 800 is the value at risk. No under insurance, but with GST it becomes 944. So it means a little bit of under insurance is applicable in such a case. For example, under insurance is say 105 is the total value risk, so 5% extra stock is there. So as per the IRDA, as per the new policy, Sookshma and Laghu and all that, up to 15% if there is an under insurance, it may be waived. It is inbuilt in the policy that up to 15% under insurance should not be applied. Very good. So 5% is the under insurance, for example, in this case, extra stock is there. So in that case, 60 is the loss, fine. 70.8 is with GST. So 10.8 he is surrendered to the department. So under insurance being less than 15%, so it will be waived off. So full of this 10.8 GST will be paid to the insured. So very clear, 60 The 70.8 is along with the GST amount. So the if he surrenders 10.8, so insured will be able to get, and surveyor should recommend, and insurance company is happy to pay. Now there is the third case where 900 is the sum insured, value of risk is also 900, exactly same more or less, and you add GST to that, that becomes 10,1062, and after adding this GST, so the 10.8 is the GST he surrenders to the government. Fine, no problem at all. So 60 is the loss, fine, and 70.8 is along with GST. So 60 into 18% plus that comes to 70 point. So he surrenders GST 10.8 with the government in the GST 3B and all that. The insured, whatever ITC was there on the stock, he reverses it, fine. Then it goes to the insurance company. So insurance company says, okay, without GST, my assessment is 60. So even with GST also my assessment is the same. It means I don't pay you anything. So you have surrendered 10.8. What if it is 10.8 lakhs or 108 lakhs or 10 crores? So he will not get anything because his policy is already on the lower side. Including GST, the value is very less. So there is under insurance of around 18%. So what he will get is nil. So one has to be very clear that my sum insured should be available. The surveyor should see, insurance company should also see. In such a case, whenever the under insurance is more than 15%, so for example, in this case, it is 18%, so he'll get nothing. So you refund GST out of your own pocket, and you have to, because under section 17 bracket 5 of GST, you are liable to surrender, and it will be reflected in your profit or loss on balance sheet. Everyone here, there was a fire and huge loss and taken place. You cannot escape liability, but insurance company will not indemnify. Now, this is the third case. Now, the fourth case, because my experience, out of my experience, I am trying to share with all the people, because a lot of big senior surveyors, they know all these intricacies and problems. But the middle class and the lower, the younger generation of surveyors, they do not know. They land up into a big soup, big problem. Later on, things get complicated. When in case of a GST, if there's a fire and you'll be surprised that it may end up into refund of the insurance claim. For example, there's a fire has taken place. You have assessed the loss without GST, because fine, the insured has not yet surrendered. He said, okay, fine, 60 you refund to the insured. Okay. Now then he goes to the department, he reverses GST, comes back to you. Then you find what? I can't pay you GST at all now. Rather, you owe me this so much more. Rather, instead of 60, 54 is the assessment. So you will end up paying you 6. He's not going to pay you. So that is where all the difficulty comes. For example, in this case, 900 is the sum insured. Okay, already 1000 is the value it is, and when it is with GST, it becomes 1180 after adding and GST etc. 18%. So 10.8 is the GST, 60 is the loss, and 70.8 is the value with GST. So what we can, without GST, the assessment is 60. And what happens? He comes back to you after surrendering the GST. So now, so the under insurance goes higher. Initially, it was 111%. Say 1.11. Now 11%. And so he gets waiver of this thing under insurance because it is less than 15%. But after GST adding, it becomes 131. 131%. In that case, no waiver at all. Now you tell him, sir, I am already sorry, I have assessed the loss 60, whereas it should be 54. So in such cases, he will not going to refund you any amount, and the insurance company is in a bigger soup. You try to hide the fact here and there. So these are the things I want to share with you in such a case when GST properly has been surrendered. In spite of that, you may not get. Rather, your insurance company may ask you for more amount. Then, sir, you refund my claim to some extent. So that becomes an impossible situation. Instead of 60, now 54 is the. So in such cases, the surveyor has to be very cautious. The insurance company has to be very cautious that we should not end up paying more to the insured. And tomorrow in the audit and all that different places, you will be to bigger soup. Now, what happens? There is another case. That was the fourth case I discussed. Now I discuss the case number 5. Case number 5, 900 is again the sum insured. Already, say 1100 is the value of stock without GST, and so that means after adding GST, it become 1298. That is to say, 122% was already there. Now, after adding GST, it becomes 144%. So, initially, you can't get any waiver of GST because it is already more than 15% under insurance is there. So, you cannot get in between. There will be under insurance deduction. Now, after adding GST, it becomes all the more. That is 144%. But, in such a case, what happens? Your assessment without GST is say 49.9. With GST also, it is again 49.9. That means you surrender 10.8 GST. I won't pay you anything. The surveyor will not recommend anything. So you are a completely loser out of this GST part. Now, in such a cases, I always suggest the surveyors and the insurance companies and the brokers, everybody, please be very careful when it is GST matter, when there is an under insurance and all that. The surveyor, in fact, after coming back to the center and all that, they should give two assessments, so without GST and with GST. If they give, so that will be beneficial. Now, lot of time, what happens? The insured says, sir, I don't have the funds and all that to be able to pay. Banks are not giving me funds. I don't have funds, so I can't surrender GST right now. I'll surrender it later on. So when it is later on, that can become a very dangerous situation. We have seen lot of surveyors, especially the very senior ones, they take care of these two assessments, or they make assessment always with GST, as if, which sometimes it is difficult to calculate. He says, okay, fine, I'll come back. So surveyor says, okay, fine, let us pay without GST. But then you should always give two assessments, without GST and with GST. So this will help you that in future, after it comes back, after surrender, things won't get complicated, things will be properly handled and all that. So this I want to share with all the people across the country, all the surveyors, and out of my experience of 35 years of experience as a surveyor, and I'm a chartered accountant, I'm a cost accountant, and I've written this book also, INSURE and SEUCURE for fire insurance claims, and there's a full chapter on GST of 40 pages and all that. There are 27 case studies, live cases, salvage, everything I've given in the book. This is the first time in the country that a surveyor has shared his survey reports. 27 case studies I've given, completely shared. You go to any surveyor across the country, sir, you've done a great job in this claim, sir, can you share the survey report? I don't think that anybody will share. I'm ready to share. I want to share that experience and knowledge with all the surveyors across the country. Take this knowledge from the book. This book is available in Amazon. You can buy the book directly from me. I'm not selling the book. I've given all the stock to Amazon. I've entered an agreement with them. They will only be selling, packing, courier, collecting money, and all that. They will be doing all that part. So this book is no theory. This book is all practical. Sir, fire has taken place. So this is the policy. Please go and handle the loss. So that is how it comes. So I want to share through this book and through all these YouTube videos. I want to share with the younger generation and all the engineers that how claims should be handled in case of a fire loss. Thank you very much. Namaskar, Nandori, and Abhar that you have listened to this video. I think it will be very useful. You can listen to it as many times as possible whenever you want in future. So thank you very much. This is Ram Gopal Verma signing.